Yeah, so like definitely not procedure and system right now after like King Khan being like forced to like even steal to go to the extent of even stealing like a plane for him to even be able to like make it to like private to like first demon world. And also for him to totally has to do with that King Khan while he is like the king being like the king of like the third demon world. And unfortunately, only for him, it might be precisely after like the whole color and slavery system have was like enforced to like the third demon world by like one of like the supreme demon beings, which might be from that point on. I'm considering maybe it might have been Deborah or like Deborah's father. Like I'm leaning more towards it might have been during Deborah's time when Deborah was ruling over. Yeah, as like the supreme demon king might have been like the point when like I think like Deborah might have like totally like forced RNC to like create all the concepts. That way, like once like the slavery began, like the slavery system had began in like the demon world. But it might have been from that point on that like even King current like palace and just like kingdom might have like it might have only itself it's like absolute might and everything. So like I was wondering maybe according to like the orders of like the then supreme demon king like Deborah like his force might have seized all the most of like the playing in like the balance of like the King Gardens in like the 31 world. It's definitely also like a scenario that I'm going to that might have happened to the film as well. Hence, and even so, like at that point, like King Garden might have only had like just a single plane left, which he might the sole reason he might even possess that would be like in like the present would be solely because of like him having like most likely hidden it somewhere in the like palace the name of the chance that the first plane might be like the first plane that King Karan might have even given to Hypers to like get like the trinity of like the V fighters from the is definitely my personal and this might be like the best reason for like King Karan is to like the person even being without even having any not even a single plane in his like palace being like even while he's like a king being can be forced to like go to the extent of like stealing a plane somewhere like thing in like the demon world, most likely existing somewhere in like the demon world for him to even be able to like make it to like the precise first demon world. This is definitely my personal evaluation. So like I'm considering most likely like all the most of like the planes in like the third demon world might have been seized back when like Deborah was like the king is the supreme demon king is the demon of the demon. So like it might have been after all that like basically I'm considering like the demons in like the third demon world might have self literally might have created like their own planes, new sets of planes and that might be like the present day planes even that are even existing in like the demon world is definitely my personal number. And one of which is would be precisely what like King Current would be part currently like the brother trying to steal. It's also definitely one of the and so like open my personal number right now is that like since like King Current has only gone off to like steal a plane while eventually by the seems to be like already would be like already on their way to like the Vasa match straight away move on to like the first payment world and also saying that it would be most likely so it would be most likely like the 3 that would be like making it to like the Vapsama first world. Like I'm preparing at that point, like them shockingly finding out like the Vapsama is stable. And that resulting in like them only being them being forced to like only be able to like return back, not even to like the demon world, but only to like the first demon world from yeah, from which like they had even came from right now, which would be like the second demon world. So like I'm considering going through like return back to like the second demon world and straight away, like I'm considering like Fancy, like even straight away calling King Karan and Fancy totally telling King Karan as to like the situation, to like the present situation, how like the Valsam is disabled and all that. So like I'm considering King Karan as well would definitely so badly want to like make it to the substream word figuring down Goma. And personally only putting King Karan like totally feeling that it's like hopeless. So like at that point I was different Goku most likely coming up with like the or confident idea most likely with to like basically let's just destroy like the light barriers separating like the first as well as like the second demon word so that like the if we just destroy that we will be able to make it right. So I was differing at that point about different two positions, either like Shin or like Neva, like these the wisest one among them, like Neva was differing totally convincing Goku and Vegeta. Even Vegeta will like exactly like Goku, like all the opponent in life will be totally piece of cake to like basically it will be so easy and it will be such a piece of cake to like just destroy that huge massive light barrier separating the first and second human world. But like I'm wondering, one two possibilities. One would be like never totally straight away telling them that basically it's not as easy as you think. Like it would take a lot more than your current strength to for you to even be able to like destroy that light barrier. And so that way, like I'm probably putting maybe Vegeta and Goku as well. Like maybe it seems like Neva would be sounding like always sounding like such a wise man. Probably putting maybe because of that sole reason, like Vegeta and Goku maybe being convinced. And so if that's the case, then I'm probably putting like someone like maybe Shin or like Gloria coming up with like the idea or like Shin or Gloria like possibly coming up with the idea that basically Varnava himself that basically comes up with like the idea to like basically let's just attack like the specialized pattern that separates like the third and second demon world together along with like Tinker and like and that way like fancy calling Tinker and basically selling King Current to like train his like entire army to and basically for them to like attack like the light barrier from like the from the end of like the third demon world while Goku and the Z fighters will be attacking simultaneously attacking that very same light barrier from like the side of like from like the end of like the second demon world. That way then attempting to like destroy like the light barrier is like one possibility that I'm also developing, but still that attempt as well totally failing is also like the possibility that I'm also developing. So with that attempt as well failing, like I'm also developing, most likely it will be like so that will be like coming up with a crazy idea, even though like Leslie never would be like wise enough to like know well that basically if, like even destroying such a tough light barrier would be like only a piece of would be such an easy and like a piece of cake thing to do for like the strength of the mega, but still solely because of like never being extremely scared of like the mega and would be like so scared of his life when it even comes to like when after heading off to like the planet of mega, but differing but still for Goku like Goku would be like totally fearless of even after like witnessing like Toro success like the mega like Goku would still be feeling fearless towards like the mega. So like I was differing according to my be according to like Goku's plan that I'm with all different them like the Z was heading off to like the planet of mega. So precisely create a bond of friendship with like at this one of like the mega plan. I was differing precisely them coincidentally they're running into that precise same, very exact same child mega and dog, giant dog. This is like the scenario that I'm also differing. And I'm also differing like maybe like the remaining three fighters, like maybe like Piccolo and Vegeta, not the remaining three fighters, but I'm also differing maybe Piccolo and Vegeta only doing their best efforts to like create some sort of a bond of friendship with that child mega, but like only failing. And I'm also differing it would be only Goku and Goku alone that would be just finding that feeling and like making that bond of friendship with that right, child mega. So like then I'm also differing Goku only revealing about like them actually wanting its health to like destroy like the light mega. And then I'm also differing like eventually like the child mega for taking and unfortunately like so it would be like with the help of like the child mega like basically that Goku and Pro would be like like destroying like the light barrier that separates like the second as well as the third living world and then like basically then heading off and that way like King Sharon and his like army as well joining with like Goku and Pro's team and them all together like heading off to like the process light barrier separating like the first as well as the second demon world and destroying that light barrier as well. And that way then being able to like make it to like the first demon world. This is like only one possibility that I'm supporting. The second possibility is basically Goku and Pro straight away like not even bothering with like King Karan but like Goku and Pro like straight away like realizing like the Sama is disabled like Goku and so straight away straight away at that point itself like Vegeta and Goku being so extremely overconfident that basically even while Neva would be telling that it's pointless that they wouldn't be able to like destroy like the light that or like Goku and Vegeta being so extremely confident that basically them still saying that we can do it and basically then heading off and giving it everything to like destroy like the light barriers and be separating like the first as well as like the second demon world and them totally and embarrassingly failing at that. It's like the scenario that I'm about to bring, and then for Goku to like just think of the idea of like creating a bond of friendship with like the Mega, and that way like Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo most likely heading off to like the once again to like the planet of Mega, and they're uh, uh, or like them heading off to like the planet of Mega, while Goku, it would be Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo that would be certainly entering more deep into like the planet of Mega to Mega to like find the child Mega, then but in that way Goku succeeding in like making the bond of friendship with that child Mega, then them getting like the help of like that child Mega to like destroy precisely the light barrier that separates like the first as well as like the second team of work. And like straight away, it's only being like Goku and team alone that will be heading off to like the first team and world, while King Shadan and his focus like remain like no completely unable to like even make it to like for them to not even being able to like make it to not even like the second demon world. Precisely because of the light better. Like basically Goku and Kuro like totally focused on their goal of like basically rescuing them and turning them back to their actual sites, that basically them not even bothering them feeling like even like helping out King Current to like join them would be like a waste of their time. So like Goku through basically deciding to head off straight towards like the first demon world. While King Current remaining trapped in like the third demon world. That's like the other possible variable. But maybe like Gloria as well. Gloria's mindset as well might have by now changed a lot because like initially Gloria might have when Gloria even sought the help of like King Current to bring Goma down, like Gloria might have never even expected like even after Goku being turned into tiny. Like even after that, like Goku would be having like the current levels of strength of Goku. That might be like something that Glorio might have never even anticipated or expected. So Glorio clearly witnessing how like the exceptional strength of like not only Goku but also like Vegeta, the current Goku as well as Vegeta in them taking out like the first as well as like the third as well as the second Tamagami. Like Glorio will be like fully satisfied and fully confident in precisely Goku and Vegeta like the fighters that basically that Laura currently would be like genuinely believing that basically they don't even wouldn't even need like the help of King Current. So like about the current so Laura will totally going into like the plans of like Goku and through to like straight away like head off to like the first demon world without even seeking like the help of like King Current, like without even like helping King Current like join them their army. Like basically such is like the second possibility that I'm considering of the of like the second scenario of like the possibility that I'm considering of the program and the failure. Okay, so like actually also considering production right now as for like the mysterious special forces of Goma that like Goma like so hopeful about. I'm just totally putting like sense the ultimate special forces of like Goma won't definitely be like an army of Gigas or anything. It's definitely my personal theory, because like my personal theory is definitely that exactly like how it was said about like Mega not being interested at all in like wanting to rule over like the adaptive luxury realm as like the supreme demon king or anything like. I'm considering it would be like the same thing with like Gigas and the plans of Giga as well as like the Gigas there as well. Like they would be like exactly like the Megas, like I'm considering them totally being like well and fully aware of like their or superior strength when even compared to like the Supreme Demon Kings as everything like even compared to like everybody else in like the adapted like the Demon realm, including like the Supreme Demon King of like the Demon realm that are ruled over like recent in like the past. That is definitely my personal memory. And hence like I'm considering exactly like the Megas, like even the Gigas not at all being interested at all in like the in like power or like ruling over like the entirety of sectoring reality forcefully with like their power or anything. This is definitely my personal emphasis. Certainly like the megas and super gigas as well would be like totally their only higher priority would be only to have peace to always to remain in like the planets of mega and giga that like they have to peace. That would be like the only thing they would be or only when interested in like this is definitely my personal emotion. So like I'm also even while in like the present like even while like Goma's like totally so extremely desperate to for like the third eye. About the thing like even while like the third eye might totally grant a lot of like superior strength to like Goma, still it would totally be like absolutely and extremely minuscule when compared to like the extreme superior strength that like both Megas as well as Gigas would be having. It's definitely my personal impression. So like I'm considering even while Goma would be like extremely brilliant and he would have its own cunning ways of like outsmarting all sorts of people, and he might have actually outsmarted like all sorts of characters in like the past, like Amber Gibbon still Goma and separating either might like totally lack the sense to like break up precisely to think along the lines of the black instead of like wishing instead of like wanting like, the wish for like the third eye and instead of trying to like get his hands on like the third eye item like basically using his wish to like precisely control all the gigas would be like way would make him a lot more superiorly stronger than when compared to him even getting like the power of the third eye. Like this would be something that Goma, even while Goma would be like intelligent and brilliant, like this would be one thing that Goma might have never even thought of. This definitely my very impression, but I'm delivering Aruntu might have definitely thought of this exact strategy. And this would be like one of like the ultimate wishes that like Aruntu eventually would be totally hoping to like be able to like make once like to and Gloria would be like hoping to like abduct and it. This is definitely my personal impression. So like especially because of this obvious race of like it places like Roma has already revealed that the village highest priority is like to third eye and already I think definitely this like special forces of Roma would definitely not at all be like an army of Sigas, but like I was different. It would be like maybe like an army of like my question, for instance, that like Roman like special forces would be like just an army of like random demons, especially that would be that would have like been over the years would have like given that extreme special training to and that they like would have reached like the levels of strength where like their but each one of their the special forces special force members like strength would be like seriously close to like the levels of like strength of like the current year. So if that name was into the because would be like the different brigades so it would like only be a tad bit stronger than like the strongest among like the special forces. As well as like about different Gomas to be a whole lot stronger, even though Gomas always like the cover like still Gomas like actual movement would be like faster than that of different brigades. So it's definitely and that would be like a huge factor in like brigades. So totally so extremely loyally following Goma. It's definitely my personal impression. So and they like totally bring like it shouldn't be just that individual strength of like the each member of like the special force that like totally might have impressed like Roma, but and also bring it would be like the great them being like so great in number like that army of special force would be so great in number with like each of them having like every single one of them having like a power that like about close to like the level of powers of the years. So like so basically it would be like mainly like the huge in number like of the number of like the great number of like that army of like the British forces that would be like precisely what Goma would be like the president would be hopeful that basically collectively as like a huge them being so great in number like they would be able to like bring down Soviet and will be by the would be like what Goma would be thinking and what Goma would be currently even hopeful about and with their great with the great number of like the and hence why like Goma would be trying to like increase the possibility of like his chances of victory over like the fighters by like adding to like the great numbers of like the special forces like Goma also deciding to like add like the Gendarmerie as well. Even while Uncle they're remembering like the Gendarmerie of even like the first Demon world would only like be just a tad bit stronger than the Gendarmerie of like the second Demon world. It's definitely my personal so like I definitely representing the person right now that like the since like even though there's only like five special forces members of like Agoma, so they are different things. Still like even though they would be they are only five in number and they totally have 16 similarities to like look like to like the Gendarmerie. And considering it would be like and considering like the special forces would be like only those from like the Gendarmerie who would have like totally proven to be like far superior in terms of like strength and skill when compared to like the rest of like the remaining two army of like the Gendarmerie. Like when it will be only when they have proved to be like far superiorly stronger than the entire of the remaining and the Marines. Like basically when it will be only when they have like they are able to like among like Gendarmerie is only the one that were able to like stand out so much to the extreme would be like the only one become chosen by like Soma as well as like the previous like Supreme Demon King Deborah and others as to like basically being worthy of being part of like the special force definitely my personal remembrance. So like I'm considering like the five of them, each of like the five of like the special forces and considering to not just be like a tad bit stronger than the remaining Gendarmerie, but like I'm considering like the gap in the strength from the like the special forces as well as like the remaining Gendarmerie to with that gap in strength would be like chiefly extremely huge. It's definitely my personal analysis. So like I'm considering still about departing DS as well when he appears to be like kind of like gentle and like up by around like Roma. I'm considering DS as well would be like he is bit long and I'm considering DS was like actual strength would even surpass like the strength of like the strongest among like the special forces as well. It's definitely my personal also, like the main of the Gendarmerie right now, like among the five special force members, like I'm preferring definitely like the one in like the middle would be like the strongest, and I'm preferring that the strongest, and he would be like most likely the leader, considered as like the leader of among like the five special force members. Definitely my was and it would be precisely eventually about the only bring it would be precisely go to that would be fighting off again that present leader of like the special force, and I'm preferring the second strongest member of like the special force, it would be precisely he would be like precisely fought off by precisely Vegeta, and about the bring the strongest by Piccolo, and as for like the fourth strongest temple Tippering most likely would be fought by Glory, and like the fifth strongest temple Tippering would be most likely fought off by Sin. So like this is like the initial fight matchup that I'm supposed to okay for taking eventually once like Goku and Pro will be making it to like the first team, but I was preferring like these five we fight as members, and these four we fighter members and Glorio facing off against like these five special force members. It's like a definite eventual fight scenario that I'm only putting and the members will share. Like I'm literally putting like a lot of similarities between like these five special force members and the Guinea force. Definitely my cousin members, because like I'm putting slightly like the Guinea force, how each of like the Guinea force members had like unique like ability, skills, and powers. Like I'm preferring it for to be like a similar scenario with like um, each of like the special force members similarly having like their own different and unique like special kind of like skills and abilities and powers. It's definitely my personal preference. So like I'm considering eventually what like the Z fighters would be like facing off against like the against these five special force members. Like I'm considering totally preferring for them to like straight away underestimate like these five special force members solely due to the extra look and like just like the Gendarmerie example, totally preferring the Vegeta and maybe even though well totally uh, underestimating them and totally assuming that like they would be only on the levels of strength. Like they would only be like a tad bit stronger than like the usual Gendarmerie, but like that would be when like they would be fought by the biggest surprise by also all these like unique kind of like skills and powers and abilities of each of like the members of like the special force. It's the like the eventual scenarios that I was really preparing and my personal dilemma. So definitely I was preparing Goku and Kuro to like definitely struggle a bit, definitely struggle to a certain extent before like they would even be able to like finding succeed in like being able to like more and get like each of these like five members of like the special bosses like the eventual scenario that I'm going to predict and not person to remember. Yes, so like definitely my person to remember right now is that like the precise Gendarmerie force or like the Gendarmerie special force the group of five like that might have been like a concept that might have like been and might have existed way back from the distant past of definitely members of the language. So like the number five might be something that might have always remained constant. Like it would be like only the five very top gendarmeries that stood out in terms of strength so much would be like the only one that would be able to like even make it to eventually be like one of like the members of like the Gendarmerie Special Force is definitely my sporting theory impression. So yeah, and it would only even be possible if like one of them proves to like be stronger than even if like one of the Gendarmerie that stands out among the Gendarmerie members of different I feel like how they would be even be able to like make get into being like one of like, the members of like the five member Gendarmerie force members of different they would have to like fight off against like if they have proven to stand out so much among the in their different Gendarmerie armies like they might have like the right to like challenge like one of like the Gendarmerie force and they would have like fight up against one of like the Gendarmerie special force and defeat them to prove that they are stronger than and worthy of being part of like one of like the five members of like the Gendarmerie force. And maybe like the concept that like how this works is definitely members of the and members of the even though it's only currently like the Gendarmerie special force again brigade and something. This concept might have been something that might have existed even from like the very distant past. Maybe my consider like even back during the Abora's time as well as about even back when Abora was alive, like the Abora's father, like Abora's well was alive, like I'm like this exact like Gendarmerie special force system that might have like a force such a manner might have totally existed even from back then. Like it would be like their whole the present day Gendarmerie special force that would be what like they have been like revealed right now. It's definitely my personal generation. So like definitely my personal generation and possibly that could be like the first reason for like the Gendarmerie special force as well. Like it seems to like give so much importance to like their whole like each of the members having like their own unique force, exactly like how the Ginyu force had like basically it might be my personal theory that might be specifically the Ginyu force that might have only take an inspiration out sometimes to like have like the to for like the Ginyu force to have set up forces for themselves, each of like the members themselves when in actuality like it might have been like the Gendarmerie special force that might have initially started like the whole concept of like maintaining a force for like each of like the members like as like that might be their way of like a representation of their strength, might and like it would be like boldness might also be like a fact like, according to their point of view for like them giving so much importance to like for each of like the Gendarmerie forms. Which is also definitely my personal impression. Yes, like definitely my personal impression that like so back when like Deborah and Babri had came to us, and that was that even being like back when like Deborah was like the king of like the supreme demon king of like the demon realm. Yet like and I think like they had even came to us to like precisely take Shin like used by releasing margin boom, using margin boom to like getting detection like and that way and I think like it was like a revenge for like what Barbary as well as Deborah might have back then believed that basically for like the reason behind like Barbary's father's death being like shit and which I'm still thinking like it would be like a trap set by Tigesu for Shin and it might be perfectly Tigesu totally taking the advantage of him having like the like of Shin to like frame Shin into that way convincing everyone in like the Reunion that it was Shin that had taken the life of Deborah's father and I mean like Barbari's father and Deborah as well might have been like those like, good friends as well and hence why like some like, possible reason might be for like Deborah even while he was like the supreme he was like ruling over us like the supreme demon king even deciding to like go to the extent of basically traveling along with Barbary to basically just bring down Shin. Might have been what might have happened is what I think. So like I'm going to bring my talking theory impression is that like basically back then like precisely the reason for like Deborah, the Supreme Demon King Deborah back then like precisely deciding to like not bring like the Gendarmerie special forces with him back then might be like ambassador, there may be two positives. One positive basically maybe Deborah might have totally felt that basically because like he's like the supreme demon king, so like once he would be like leaving to us for his like mission to like take since like during the instance like the palace would be like totally his palace and everything. He might have totally assigned like just like Gendarmerie special force to like protect like the palace and his kingdom and everything. Exactly while he is like gone temporarily gone to us. Maybe this might be the reason for like Babadi and Sabara not bringing like the Gendarmerie special forces back then. It's like one positive that I'm considering. The other positive is maybe because of like Babadi and Deborah has like extreme overconfidence that basically that they wouldn't even need like the help of like the Gendarmerie special for when they would be like heading off to us. Especially because like they might have had like that extreme overconfidence or like that faith that basically releasing margin to like the strength that margin to will be like having like once they will be releasing margin to on up like will be like more than enough to like essentially take out and take the life of Shin. So like that it might be either the other positive that like it might be slightly because of the sport contrast that basically Tabor and Babri back then might have not stopped like the Gendarmerie special force along with them to achieve like their goal of like taking it. Like it's also like my personal impression. So like definitely my position direction and for that Prince as well having like his own like Ginyu post that had like a lot of similarity to like the Gendarmerie special post. Like the Ginyu post will being like of the exact five in number, a five-member group, and as well as like for like the Ginyu post as well to prioritize a lot, give so much importance to like the post, to each of like the members like having striking of the post and giving more importance to that, like exactly like the Gendarmerie special post, like I'm considering it would all have to do with like the Captain Ginyu. It's definitely my position. Especially because like in the case of like the Ginyu post, like unlike second armoring post, like in the case of like the Ginyu post, my position impressions are like it would be only Captain Ginyu and Captain Ginyu alone that would be actually from like the demons realm. It's definitely my personal interesting. While like especially because like my personal reason maybe like it would be only Captain Ginyu alone that would be having like a pointy ear and hence would be from like the Dinosaurian by since like all the remaining members of like the Guinea boss doesn't have like pointy ears like as well as Prisa as well not having like any pointy ears like none of them would be actually from like the Demon Realms. It's only Captain Ginyu and Captain Ginyu alone that would be actually from like the Demon Realm and Captain Ginyu and was referring like that way back when Captain Ginyu was like only a child like then like I was referring Captain Ginu might have been like back then. Captain Ginu might have been in like the Demon Realm, living in like the Demon Realm, and back then he might have been like such an absolute fan of like the Gendarmerie Special Forces that existed back then. Which definitely, which back then like the Gendarmerie Forces, like Special Forces members that existed back then in like the Demon Realm would be like all different to like the present day Gendarmerie Special Forces and might have been like even way more stronger than the present day Gendarmerie special because like the Digital Realm is also definitely my best friend. Like the child Captain Linus back then might have been like an absolute fan of like this type Gendarmerie special boss. That's definitely my cousin Jerem. So like what might have happened might be like and also my cousin Jerem was like precisely like Captain Ginu might have definitely been like the son of like one of like the Gendarmerie. Definitely, my cousin that like Captain Ginu might have been the son of like just one of like the common Gendarmerie, not like the son of like the Gendarmerie special force or anything. So like I'm different. Still, I'm considering maybe like the supreme statement thing that existed back then. Considering maybe it might have been like Deborah or like Abdurrahman. Leaning more towards the possibility that might have been Abdurrah. Back when like Abdurrah was like the supreme demon king, like Deborah's father Abdurrah was like the supreme demon king. Like Abdurrah might have only decided like the chances might have been like growing in Abdurrah because of like all sorts of like a great number of demons and right from like the demon realm basically leaving like the demon realm. Like a concern might have been, and back then, like potentially, like Abora might have not decided to create like the Vaksama gate and everything, all that. It's definitely my looking to Venus. So like, considering at that point, Abora might have been a lot of thoughts might have been going through Abora's mind. And Abora might have been totally thinking of like how to increase like the security and protection of like the demon realm and how to like create strong fighters in like the demon realm. So like that's like Abora might have not even been satisfied with like the 10 existing Gendarmerie special force as well. It's simply my personal preference. So like Abora, there might have been some sort of like a villainous kind of scientist back then in like the Demon Real back then. It's also definitely my personal preference. So like yeah, Abora might have the villain of Abora might have totally might have like assigned the scientists to like totally experiment upon like in trying to like strengthen up like the Gendarmerie forces like to like the point where they will be even possibly will be able to like surpass even like the Gendarmerie special force. Like Abrahamita told the scientist that he wants something even more powerful and stronger than like the Gendarmerie special force. So like I'm also referring that scientist might have the villain scientist might have totally experimented on precisely uh, Captain Ginyu, definitely my person to members. And I'm also referring it might have been potentially part of like that experiment that I'm also referring Captain Ginyu might have been like uh, uh, have gotten like permanently fused with like the Cyberman with like the powers and abilities of like the Cyberman as well. It's definitely my person to remember. So like Captain Ginyu might be like part of this experiment involving like a Gendarmerie as well as like a Cyberman. It's definitely my cousin, involving a Gendarmerie tribe as well as like a Cyberman. It's definitely my cousin Joranus, and hence why Captain Ginu looks different from like the Gendar, different yet similar to the Gendarmerie. It's also definitely my personal career ambition. So, and I'm personally totally pressing, it might have been precisely during that time that basically Frieza might have precisely might have, it might be only back then that Frieza might have totally discovered like the demon realm. It's definitely my personal career ambition. So, like at that point, like Frieza might have been so the sprite will like basically throw such like sprite that is like the absolute strongest and basically so like even though Frieza might have like naturally been like so extremely strong like even though Frieza himself has revealed that he haven't like trained mostly at all which is like thing like so Frieza might have been like even way back then Frieza might have been genuinely so exceptionally strong but I'm not on the brain so Frieza it had this desire to like take over like and destroy and take over and defeat like the fighters in like each of like the planets that Rita would be like fighting and basically uh, to take over and defeat like the strongest fighters there and basically then for Rita to destroy that man might have been like Rita's goal. So like I'm think what Frieza might have done back then might have been like Frieza might have spotted like the demon realm and Frieza might have so might have sent like high power levels from like the demon realm and that would be from like Abora as well as like Abora like again our respective was definitely mainly that those higher levels Frieza might have detected might have been from them. So like Frieza might have showed up there and I was remembering back then like the experiment performed on like uh, experiments like performed on like a Captain Genu might have been over like and then was different maybe that Genu scientist might have been like considered like Captain Genu as like a failure as like an experimental failure. Was definitely my passenger impression. So like I was wondering when Frieza might have showed up there to like the showed up there to like the demon real like Frieza might have totally just coincidentally like just randomly like totally ran into like uh, a child Captain Gideon. Definitely one of the vendors. So like I'm considering Frieza might have like actually just talked to like the child Captain Gideon about like so for Frieza to like know more about like the strongest fighters in that planet and in like that demon realm and everything. So like I'm considering Captain Gideon might have straight away like that's the first time I have asked the, like the child Captain Ginyu, like Captain Ginyu, like ice might have straight away glowed up, and literally Captain Ginyu might have totally so free. So that is like the Gendarmerie special forces that are like the two of them the strongest fighters and everything. Like especially this might have been like the child Captain Ginyu might have told free. So like I'm considering precisely like Captain Gideon might have told us to present extent. Brita might have only got extremely curious about like this like Gendarmerie special force and might have only wanted to like fight them and destroy them. And and so like I'm considering like Brita might have totally eventually like searched and found like this device Gendarmerie special force. So like I'm considering Brita might have totally in that fight against that Gendarmerie force like I'm considering special force like Brita might have totally been able to like totally eventually like Brita might have yeah, like even though like the power levels that Brisa might have detected of like the Gendarmerie special force, like once like the Gendarmerie special force back then might have started fighting against the fighting off against like Brisa, like their power levels might have sharply above like extreme superior levels, is definitely greater levels, definitely not superior. So like Brisa might have not like expected the Gendarmerie special force to be so extremely strong. But still, I'm considering initially Brisa might have only overpowered like the five members Gendarmerie to the both and at like Risa might have been about to destroy them at that very last second might have been like maybe even precisely Deborah. Uh, I mean like Abora might have showed up like the Supreme Demon King Abora might have showed up and then like the Risa Abora fight might have happened and in which like Abora might have totally overpowered and defeated and destroyed Frieza is like the scenario that I'm delivering. So like Frieza back then might have got like extremely huge ego by Abora might have been what might have happened. So like a badly injured Frieza might have somehow still succeeded in like getting away, and maybe Abora might have not been interested in like taking Frieza's life as well either. So like or like maybe Frieza might have somehow still succeeded in like escaping from Abora after like losing to Abora. So like I'm considering precisely Frieza was about to like desperately looking for his spaceship to like literally escape from like the Ring realm and that very last second I'm considering Frieza might have only ran into like that size Captain Ginyu once again. And at that point, I was wondering, Preeta might have been able to like see a lot of like straight away just looking at like the child Captain Ginyu at that point. Preeta after like since like it was after like Preeta fighting off against like the Gendarmerie special force. Like Frieza might not only been able to see that basically Captain Ginyu had like a lot of similarities to somehow related to the tribe of like the Gendarmerie special force. So Gendarmerie is related to the tribe of the Gendarmerie. Yet there had like yet Captain Ginyu, the child Captain Ginyu had some differences as well. Frieza might have been able to like easily sense that. So like since like Frieza after like having fought like the Gendarmerie special force and realized through experience, through the fight experience, like Frieza having like realized like the true might of like the Gendarmerie special force, like and Frieza might have straight away taken quite an interest towards like the child captain menu at that point, Stephanie was the so like I'm considering at that point, Rita might not only abduct, forcefully abducted before. In the Rita might have been badly injured, like before like a might have straight away decided to like abduct the child, abduct the child captain menu. And so like I'm considering Rita in his like spaceship, like might have pulled the child captain menu into it and easily might have left like the demon realm back then. So secondly, my particular understand. Maybe I'm just thinking of like a remote box that this incident with like Frieza might be like the last stop. And basically, in especially Agora forming and solidifying this like decision to like improve like the tighten up like the security of like the demon realm. And mainly like it might have been soon after like the Agora's like fight against like Frieza that Agora might have only decided to like straight away might have totally started working on like creating like work from and everything that way to like tighten up the security certainly versus in the windows. But like at that point, when the Frieza was had escaped with like Captain Nino at that point, my brother Frieza might have escaped with like his the goal fixed in his mind that literally one day Frieza would be returning back to like the Demon realm. And one day, like Frieza will be totally getting revenge on Azura. Might have been what Frieza thought when Frieza might have escaped from like the Demon realm with like Captain Lee. Definitely not the Cinderella set. But like I'm considering later on in the future, like Frieza might have shockingly found out about like the last and how it's like absolutely impossible for Frieza to ever be able to like enter or even try to like even destroy from a remote distance the demon realm from like the remote distance because of like the Valve summer. There would be like I'm considering like the Valve summer barrier would be like special that I'm considering even like Frieza's like a remote remote like finger beam attack won't be able to like cause any sort of damage to like the Valve summer since like the demon realm is guarded by the Valve summer gate. It's definitely my present temperature. So was differing, even though that might have been a disappointment for Frieza. Like, I'm considering Frieza after that, like, might have changed to like perfectly planet Namek, and I'm considering Frieza. So, like, my secondary restrictions are like Frieza had left, escaped, like, the demon realm was like the child captain, at that point in time, considering Frieza only having his mind fixed and basically, to basically get revenge on, like, the demon realm eventually. So, like, I'm considering according to that goal of Frieza, like the first thing Frieza might have done might have been precisely totally Frieza might have only developed to like totally take like make absolute use of like the advantage of like that extreme passion that like the child captain Dino had Frieza knew that like the child captain Dino was such an absolute fan of like the Gendarmerie special force of like the demon realm members. Different Frieza might have totally thought somehow managed to like calm Captain Ginyu down and basically might have told the child Captain Ginyu that like so what if you can't see like the you can't be in like the demon realm and you can see like the Gendarmerie special force like still and Frieza might have totally given that as those or conference to like that child Captain Ginyu that like now it's time to see your turn like you are not instead of being a fan, like why not like create your own gendarmerie special force? Like this might be like that kind of like motivational conference that basically Vita might have only given to the child captain Gino at that point. It's definitely my person so like I'm going to bring the fourth child captain Gino until that point might have been like only crying and because like Vita was like abducting him that way. But like I'm just separating from that point on, like I'm just separating his a dream might have totally been formed in like the child captain Gino's like mind that basically of like him being able to like possibly in like the future and him like basically having this goal to create his own uh, like uh, his own version of like a Gandalf marine source like special force like basically so it might have been precisely creature that might have instilled that precise goal and dream into like Jack Engineer might, and while all Frieza might have only seen in like Captain Ginyu was just another just a potential strong henchman, like useful strong henchman, you eventually build up useful strong henchman for Frieza. And and I was referring so like precisely like Frieza might have like instilled this like dream into like the child Captain Ginyu's mind, and since that day Captain Ginyu might have been searching for like the right warriors, like strong fighters that strong people that this Captain Ginyu could like totally act and form, and that way form his like 5 member and uh, his own version of like the Gendarmerie special force. And I'm considering it might be through that like I'm considering Frieza might have maybe trained the child Captain Ginyu as well and made him and got him like more and more stronger. And I'm considering like the more Frieza might have trained like Captain Ginyu. Frieza might have totally realized that basically like his skills as well is like not different from like the each of like the 5 members of like the Gendarmerie special force that Frieza has fought back uh, in like the Demon Real in like the past. Because of like, and it would only have to do with like the Cybermen fusion with like the Gendarmerie tribe of like that exists within like within Captain Ginyu, definitely my big agreement. So like I was referring eventually Captain Ginyu as like Captain Ginyu grew up like basically he might have only formed that way like achieved his dream and formed his like 5 member like Ginyu Positive because like Captain Ginyu Frieza might have only because like in Captain Ginu's dream like he wanted to create like he might have definitely wanted to create not just the exact copy of like the exact copy of like the normal special force of like the Demon Realm, but like maybe like Captain Ginyu might have wanted to like make it a bit more original and make it its own version of like Gendarmerie special force, and hence why like it might have been precisely Captain Ginyu himself that might have and he wanted to be like the leader and captain of that force, and so like it might be like Captain Ginyu himself that might have called like the 5 member group that he formed eventually as like the Ginyu Force, like making his name like as like part of like the name of like the force, like the Ginyu Force, and that might be the precise reason for like the in like the Ginyu Force, like it's only I think like it's only Captain Ginyu that has like the pointy ears, so where like every other uh, member of like the Ginyu Force have not like doesn't have like pointy ears. So like hence them not being from like the Demon Realm, and yet like the precise things that Captain Ginyu might have only ensured might be to like Captain Ginyu might have not only changed the name and called it the Ginyu Force, but like it might have been like absolutely important for and a priority for Captain Ginyu to ensure that it's exactly like a 5 member group, exactly like the Gendarmerie special force that basically so it too had like forces. Yet like I'm referring precisely Captain Ginyu was like determined to like create his own unique kind of forces for like his Ginyu force group. So like I'm referring that might be the reason for like the Ginyu forces like forces are different from like the forces of like the current Gendarmerie special force. Certainly my personal answer. So like I'm referring Captain Q might have not just been just a fan of like the Gendarmerie special force. Like he might have been an absolute fan of their forces as well. So like I'm referring it might be through precisely Captain Ginyu that like and I'm considering like you just like the remaining members of like the Ginyu force might have only looked up to Captain Ginyu with like absolute respect. So like I'm considering when Captain Ginyu told them that the importance of like the force and everything like they might have totally totally straight away believe Captain Ginyu and was like totally passionate about like the Ginyu force as a group exactly like Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginyu might have been easily able to like instill his passion form to like the remaining members of like the Ginyu force, and that way not also the memorization that like the when each of like the members of like the Indian force like even the force like they would be totally passionately showing it. It is also definitely exactly like the same passion as like Japanese Indian definitely members of the rebellion. And this might be how like the Indian force might have been formed. It's also might have been the reimpression. So like I'm differing even though by electors then passed by the point when like Frieza had escaped like the Demon Realm by abducting the child Captain Inu. At that point that Frieza had his like ultimate dream in his mind to like create his own version of like the Gendarmerie Fatal Force. Still like Frieza might have never expected for like the child Captain Inu once like he would be like eventually creating that 5 member group like basically he will be also like implementing that with very same force of like the Gendarmerie switches. So like that might be like something that Frieza might have never been able to like foresee happening. So like this might be like the so like I was thing ever since like the new form was formed. Like I was the Captain Ginyu might have revealed once like Captain Ginyu might have found like the final fifth member of like the Ginyu form. Like at that point like the Captain Ginyu might have been so extremely excited, and Captain Ginyu might have wanted to totally surprise Frieza, which is like completed set of five member Ginyu force. So like I'm delivering, Frieza might have been like totally. Guess what's the only thing Captain Ginyu might have told Frieza was that like the Ginyu force is complete, and so like I'm considering Prita might have been basically waiting for like the great reveal of like Ginyu 500 Ginyu for through Captain Ginyu. So like and I'm considering Captain Ginyu might have accepted the surprise. So like I'm considering when Captain Ginyu had like revealed that ultimate surprise, like Prita might have found it like totally awkward that basically that Captain Ginyu has not only created like the Ginyu force but also has like stick down to like the force of like the precise Gendarmerie forces. So this might be something that Frieza might have totally felt fear even from way back in like the past when Frieza saw like the Gendarmerie special force for like the first time all the way back in like the Demon Real. So definitely my wasn't remember because that might be like the might have been like the only disappointment for Frieza because like every time because like each and every single time like Frieza would be summoning like just Ginyu force each and every single time Frieza would have to like witness like the form of like the Ginyu force each and every single time. So like that might have been like the only disturbance for like the for Frieza. It's definitely my cousin Korean culture. So like this might have been like what might have happened in like the recent past, leading towards like the eventual creation of like the Genius post it's definitely my cousin Korean culture. So like this would all be like the absolute inspiration, like the formation of like the Genius post would be the root of it would be like precisely the inspiration of like Captain Ginyu towards like precisely the Gendarmerie special force that existed back all the way back then in that spark times. Definitely my percentage impression. Also, like according to my percentage impression, that Gora back then, mostly back then in that the demon realm, like in his like fight against Frieza, him having like possibly having like defeated Frieza might mainly have to do with like Apura back then possessing like the superior power of like the third eye back then like might be like the main reason for like Apura being able to like also and defeat Frieza. This might have been what might have happened back then, and this might be like the third eye, the superior power granted through like the third eye might be like this Apura had might be the main reason for that. It's definitely not the main reason. Okay, so like I definitely not going to direction right now that like since like Goma right now has a reveal that like the Z fighters are harder to look lecture for example different so like definitely that would mean that definitely none of like the Z fighters will have like their mental age affected at all even through like Goma which is definitely my version to so especially because of this reason definitely all Goma would be totally patiently waiting for towards like then they would be only for like 10 days to like age the baby and 10 days to age to the point that then they would be able to like form words and form enough words to be able to like make the to basically call out like the spell to basically create like the dragon board. Like that would be like the only things Goma would be basically waiting. So like I'm discussing right now, Goma would be well and fully aware even when then they is like a baby that basically then they like mentally fully aware of like everything happening and mentally then they still that as like as old as he was back before turning Goma turned him into a baby. This would be one thing that Goma would be that when I'm fully aware of. So like Goma would be only patiently waiting for only then they to like age to the point that then they would be able to like speak enough words to enough the required words like enough words which would be like the enough words would be precisely the required words to like precisely create like the new success prime of love. Also so that would be like only that time period would be like the only uh time period would be only what like Goma would be like patiently right now would be like waiting for. It's definitely my personal impression right now. So like definitely my personal impression definitely for like 10 days to like so we take the absolute advantage of this situation of 10 days where like 10 days like a daily. It's definitely not a good relation because like I'm thinking even after like 10 days would have aged to the point that he would actually be able to like call out like the self spells to for 10 days to be able to like be able to create all the Dragon Balls, like still then they would be totally, but they're definitely preferring then they to like totally trick Goma because the Goma won't be able to like realize that they really Dende is has finally reached the age where is actually able to like read out like to call out like the spell to create like the Dragon Balls. Like the position like Goma won't be able to like realize that like I'm considering even though like then they might look extremely young. I'm considering then they might be like considering then they should reach to the point and reach to the point where like then they potentially will be able to able to precisely create call out the spell to create the triangles yet then they precisely constantly tricking Goma by maintaining then they like baby act uh, and that way I'm going to bring it will be only once like then they get to the hands of like the Z fighters like basically it would be only once like the Z fighters are rescued then that I'm going to bring like then they would be like instantly like basically talking to the Z fighters and the Z fighters totally being shocked like the eventual scenario that I'm going to bring. And I thought straight out that it won't be just like the V fight of that to be shocked. Like I'm considering at that point possibly for like Arrestal Glory as well as Dom at only being shocked because like they would have totally been like assuming that like then like haven't reached the age point of age where like he would actually be able to speak. But like it should be also then there's like ultimate master plan and the big act that then they would be using to like really putting and using to like totally track all of them. And so that way eventually helps like the team fight as well. It's like and eventual possible scenario that I'm looking at right now. Yes, so like definitely I'm looking to the question right now is that like the mysterious dynamic kind of language kind of like spell from Neva and considering that would be the only used by Neva with like the like intent to only save Goku from falling into like the light side or definitely one of the impression. Like as for like Neva and I'm just projecting like definitely never won't be like having like the power or even like the won't be at all having like the magic. So like in none of that never magic would be even be able to like destroy or remove like the light barrier separating like the second and first frequent words. It's definitely my person to reaction. Never simply wouldn't have that power or like that magic to destroy like the light barrier. It's definitely my person to reaction. But like I'm still sticking to my person to reaction that of like the Z fighters like uh, coming most likely Goku himself, like coming out of like I have the idea to like go back to like the planet of Mega and get one and then they would be precisely getting like that precise child Mega and I was preparing like it would take like that absolute superior strength of like that child Mega alone to for them to even be able to like destroy the light barrier and for them to be able to like make it to like the first human world. That's definitely one positive impression that I'm still thinking on. Also like definitely one positive impression right now as for like Neva's like a dynamic match gets the like totally instantly shocking Piccolo and also the thing it totally has to do with like deja vu shooting Piccolo like feeling like totally as if like he has like heard or like seen this spell before and I'm also bringing perfectly like the last time Piccolo might have even seen this or heard or seen like witnessed this like that spell might have been when Piccolo might have genuinely been like extremely young like it's definitely my purpose back when like Piccolo was extremely young and living in like that precise demon realm in the precise planet dynamic of like the second existing in like the second demon world. Back when Piccolo was present there and living there, like I said, back then might have been like precisely through Neva himself might have been when Piccolo might have seen the exact dynamic language spell for like the first time in Piccolo's life. Definitely my opinion. And exactly to the side because of this reason that I'm the road right. I think like Piccolo even once again felt deja vu when Piccolo even entered like the planet dynamic of like second demon world. So definitely my person to remember because like Piccolo like it's extremely young childhood might have been definitely been in that precise planet dynamic of the second demon world. It's definitely my person to remember. So like the memories will be so extremely faint that I'm differing like people won't be able to like recollect all that memory. But like I'm differing it to be precisely like this magic, like the spell dynamic language spell magic of Neva that basically might have totally triggered and give once again that deja vu to Piccolo. It's definitely my person to remember. So and I'm still thinking to my positive impression that like Neva would definitely be in actuality, would definitely be Piccolo's grandpa. So it's like Piccolo's grandfather will be in actual Neva. That's definitely my positive impression. So like definitely my positive impression right now is that like they will even while the Goma has gathered like second armor expecting post like neither Goma nor Miguel so had like definitely genuinely have like absolutely no idea that basically never would have like the power to like destroy and remove like the life barrier separating like the all three demon worlds. It's definitely my positive impression. So else is definitely my positive impression. Else like Doma would have totally try to like upset Neva before anything, before even disabling like the work command Doma would have like ensured to like send to give like the orders to like the Gendarmerie might have even sent Digesu himself to like the second demon word to like stealthily upset Neva before even disabling like the Vabzama. Definitely not going to impression. So like definitely Goma not doing that like with the presidents only because like neither Goma nor Picasso even being sort of aware of like never even possessing the power to be able to like destroy and remove like the light barrier separating like the three members. Definitely 5,000 remember. So like my person during the right now is that like Glorious like seriously affected, like emotionally affected by the what by witnessing like the Neva so carefully and so easily like basically just, removing like the barrier separating like the second and third demon. But it's definitely my personal emotion. It only has to do with like just exactly being like one of like the long term and biggest source of Glorious which Gloria has never revealed. Might have only revealed to like Arantu alone. It's definitely my personal language. It isn't like Gloria is from like the third. It's actually from like the third demon world. But they're only putting like definitely Gloria. Even since like a young age, Gloria might have been like only witnessing the whole like forceful enslavement and the through like the call of and everything of like the first demon to like the third demon world. And Gloria might have definitely wanted that justice and equality throughout like the entirety of like the demon realm. Even Gloria might have even been for that from such an extremely young age, but like might have been like totally confused as to like how he could like change things, how like might have been different versions that like might have been one day when Haruka might have shown up to like the third demon world to because like of like the guilt might that might have existed within Arthur because like definitely it might have been Deborah that might have made the order to like to put like the collars on like the demons in like the third demon world and like I'm suffering and Deborah might have totally threatened and those are to like create those collars and so but they're only putting Arthur definitely won't be like a villainous cast friend Arthur deep down will be having like a good start so like I'm suffering Arthur might want us to witness like the consequence of her creating like the colors of her own eyes with her own eyes. So like I'm delivering it like this. So like I'm delivering it might have been in such a manner that Haruto might have in the distant past might have changed to like the third demon world and so Glorio for like this kid Glorio for like the first time and or like the other possibilities like they might have consciously came to like the third demon world precisely to like with like the conscious intent to like get someone from like the third demon world who would obviously would simply like it would be obvious for us so that like anyone in like that uh, third demon world will like desperately desire for that absolute justice and like or justice of like the and freedom of like the freedom of like the third demon world. So like but still Haruto might have been like searching for like the price of right payments from like the third demon world and Haruto might have only found that certain in precisely Florio. It's definitely my person to remember. So like that might be how Florio from like the third demon world ended up in like Haruto might have only told Florio seeing Ansu might have totally told Gloria like Ansu might have totally seen how Gloria was like so extremely disturbed and Amber bring back then Gloria might have been a young younger right Ansu might have only seen how like Gloria was in someone who just gave up and gave up to like the situation in like the third day situation of they were in like the third demon world and had like a fighting spirit within them to like they really still fight towards like hoping to, that thing to change one day. So like I'm wondering that might be what like Haruto might have seen in Glory when Haruto might have seen Glory for like the first time. That's definitely my positive energy. But like at that point Haruto might have already decided that the warriors like to be like the precise right partner for Haruto to like achieve Haruto's goal of like basically on top of like artist for example different it would be to like by into becoming like this replacing like by into becoming like the supreme demon king like Aruto was born to like a very first basically restore and bring back all the destroyed villain trees and basically or like spread villain trees even greater number of villain trees throughout like the demon realm. And like the next thing Arjun that they want to do would be to like really give freedom to like destroy like the light barrier separating like the second and third demon world. So like that demon would be able to like move around. Like, instead of things, demon in like the demon realm would be able to like move around freely. So that like the hierarchy would be removed and basically also just for Arjun to like destroy that way. Arjun the only thing that once you would be if she's able to like once she becomes like the supreme demon, like basically she will be able to like instantly give the order to like to destroy all the souls of and give straight away grand freedom to like all the poor demons in like the demon world as well. So like Arjun might have revealed this plan to like a young Gloria back then. And like Gloria might have like Glorious eyes might have only lights and but like hope like basically this is like glorious like hopes of like freedom and justice like burning in warm brightly being able to like achieve freedom and justice for like the demons in like the third demon world like lighting up even brighter. So like I'm considering it might be that day that basically Antu might have only brought glory from like the third demon world to like the first demon world. And I'm considering like Arjun might have also had that priority where like Arjun might have wanted like in like the third demon world, Arjun might have been looking for someone who wasn't just passionate about like the uh, wanting like this their third demon world into like gaining freedom, but like also Arjun might have it might have been extremely priority for Arjun to like for that person to also have like a certain level of strength so that like Arjun could like totally trick like whoever was like the demon king during that time like whether it's Joma or like so that like it was Devora when like Flora had basically been brought to like the demon world. Especially how exactly Arjun might have tricked them would be especially Arjun might have been totally planning to make this excuse like bring this person from like this first person from like the demon world the first person ally from like the demon world to like the first demon world and making the excuse to and that we're trying to like trick like the supreme demon king then that basically that this person is like highly talented and this would be like a great addition to like the army of like the supreme demon king. So like that might be how like Arthur was able to like bring Glorio into like the first demon world and like Glorio might have straight away been and Gloria might have been selected since like Gloria might have already had like a certain level of potential and friend like Gloria might have been chosen by might have been allowed to be part of like the army of like the then supreme demon king back then the name of the Victorian version and whether it was like Nagora or like like around like about the scenario that might have happened like this time but the secondly my person to remember so like I'm totally certainly, because of all this reason, definitely like Florio even witnessing like the destruction of like the light barrier, which like was something like which simply like itself it might definitely be have been like something Florio might have decided for such a long time. Like even happening that ultimate bit of Florio, like basically happening right in front of Florio, like might be too much to like hand it for like Florio that like that might have totally shocked and got even Florio emotional. It's like my person theory impression. So like definitely my person theory impression right now is that like, even though currently in the percent like the like barriers are still gone like I'm just something like uh while things would be like totally looking good for like the fighters like I'm just referring like things to like after like entering like the first team on I'm just referring like all sorts of things to go wrong so that like for like the situations of when you the fighters and like the first thing to go wrong would be that supposedly but like Glorio sudden missing. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring. Glorio most likely, like I'm going to bring, and at that point, the all three primords would be definitely present with like the Z fighters. I'm going to bring one day, like basically after like entering like the first demon world, and after like when the Z fighters would be like, I'm going to bring it to most likely night time, and I'm going to bring like the Z fighters deciding to like before they set out to like fight Soma, like and fight and bring down Doma, like I'm considering Glory most likely suggesting like the fighters that like just get a total rest, like let's just sleep and get fully rested so that like you fully prepared to like fight Doma. Like the scenario that I'm considering and like I'm considering before we fight like the Samagami and like I'm considering like definitely that would be like even after like entering into like first demon, but I'm considering maybe like Vegeta wanting to like basically fight off against Goma even straight away. But like I'm also referring like most likely Glorio interfering and Glorio telling Vegeta that like that would be foolish. Like let's just take a good rest, hide somewhere, take a good rest, and basically and have a good night of sleep, and basically the next day let's just challenge you to challenge the Tamagami one. And basically, and Glory will be saying this all when Glory will be well and fully aware that basically that Tamagami one has already been defeated and that and to have the tribal perspective of Tamagami and all that. So I'm very Gloria telling this lie and Gloria telling Goku and through that basically let's just leave it out and rest fully rest up so that like tomorrow Goku and Vegeta will be strong enough to like fight like the Tamagami one. And most likely that like Tamagami one would even be stronger than the Tamagami two. So basically Gloria most likely saying telling that along such lines to like Goku and through and succeeding in like convincing all of them and precisely during the night when everyone will be like sleeping on the running Gloria precisely secretly meeting Arzu and secretly most likely secretly definitely most likely getting two Dragon Balls, two fake Dragon Balls that would be in Arzu's possession like that Arzu would have created like Glorio getting those two fake Dragon Balls and Glorio in like the middle of the night like replacing this with two original Dragon Balls of the TV fighters with like the two fake Dragon Balls and Glorio in like the middle of the night like stealing like the two original Dragon Balls of the TV fighters and meeting up with like Arzu and like the two of them the all three Dragon Balls like basically heading off and basically making their wish and that delivering that wish will be most likely for basically 10 days and I'm preparing like that way like Lorio and Arunsu getting 10 days and I'm preparing the next day that basically group and crew will be waking up from that point on would be like basically when precisely everything totally starts to like go wrong for like the week fighters teams definitely my position no matter whatever they do, like nothing would be like ending up being right for them. Like also the things going wrong for them, like the scenario that I was but maybe look like the Dragon Ball gone from the Goku and Team's position, like I was saying, Nava as well might be like secretly and stealthily be like leaving like the V fighters and all of a sudden like the V fighters would have had like glory or totally betraying on them and then Nava as well totally going missing. So like the fighters at that point would be like totally a confused state and from that point on I was preparing for like the V fighters for it to be like a total struggle for like the V fighters and I'm going to bring eventually I'm going to bring either it might be like against like Doma's forces or like either against Doma like anyway like eventually I'm going to bring like violence the fighters will be like eventually in some sort of like a difficult situation I'm going to bring precisely it will be then that I'm going to bring with like the light barriers grown like I'm going to bring precisely it will be around that time that basically so basically King Kadan and his like army from like and he's like a Ruffian army from like third giant Ruffian army from the 13 and world with all these sharpening towards like as like an entire army like would be like only sharpening towards like the first demon world and making it to like the first demon world at that precise time when like open through the sea fighters would be in like kind of like a difficult situation. If like an eventual scenario that I'm talking about like running and my future generation. So like I definitely got looking the way I'm looking right now with like the Gendarmerie 24 like connecting like margin 2 and margin 2 is like excitement over potatoes. It's feel like basically it's like I'm putting totally different things. Definitely like the scenario that I'm totally perfect right now is that like basically for like precisely margin 2 and margin 2 like totally leaving that shopping store and basically about the bring it would be like after the Gendarmerie special force would be like done with their purchases that like and also bring one of them like maybe like all of a sudden like thinking that basically that about like what Koma had told them that like at that point I was only working like one of like the Gendarmerie special force members like remembering what like basically Goma had told them about like the description about of their enemies that they are like adults who look like kids, like basically them and like the Gendarmerie special force like all of them like basically connecting like margin two as well as margin two's behavior to like the description of like the enemies that Goma said. It's like the scenario that I'm delivering and that way like a whole confusion what I'm delivering. It's like with like the Gendarmerie special force like totally assuming and thinking that basically that those precise margin two and margin two that they saw in like that shopping store might have been like the precise enemies that they are after. So like I'm going to bring at that point itself like I'm going to bring like them to like totally chase after like the yeah, normal special forces like totally chasing after and finding margins two and Magento as they would be like totally making their way back. So like with like the few quantity of like potato chips or whatever they had like for definitely my wasn't there everything. But at the same time like the kind of purpose will be having like there are like huge quantity of like potato chips. So like I'm also precisely the Gendarmerie is also like really as part of like the order given to them by King Goma. Like they will be trying to like they will be attacking like margin 2 and margin 2 and and right then I was reporting like margin 2 like it's of totally distracted from like the fight and is still margin 2 being like so extremely awkward that I'm also reporting like margin 2 won't even bother with split genu I mean Gendarmerie station was even trying to attack them and I'm preparing right then for like margin to like totally make the steel with like second armor special force that will be in the fight like whoever when gets to keep like that huge quantity of potential ships that basically the Gendarmerie special force which has brought and brought with them. So like I'm preparing like that Gendarmerie special force seeing deal or like that deal that really Margin was trying to make as like an insult as like really along the lines of like Margin to like insulting like the superior strength of like the Gandalf Marine Special Force. So that will be along the lines in which like the piece of like the members of like the Gandalf Marine Special Force would be seeing that and I'm also preparing them totally straight away telling like Imagine to that okay it's a deal. So like I'm preferring like them totally like the armor is also like giving their absolute everything full strength against like and them like being so extremely enraged and because that they will be feeling insulted with that deal of like Imagine to that they will be extremely enraged and they would be they would have decided to like really not just catch up like Imagine to and margin to, but like basically to make them suffer and make them learn the lesson to like their superior strength in the hard state to make them learn a hard lesson because and which like that would be like the intent of like the Gandalf Special Book and then I was delivering like a short fight between like Margin to the team of Margin 2 and Margin 2 were like the Gandalf Special Book in which like I was delivering the team of like Margin 2 and Margin 2 like totally for pouring and defeating like the Gandalf Special Book like the scenario that I was delivering the Gandalf Special Book like taking a bad thing defeat and straight away like while above the ring, like second armor especially will be badly defeated and unable to move like a space where like above the different straight away like margin two and margin two straight away grabbing all of their base quantity for like and dealing just like that and above the ring like the poor again armor especially like basically while being so extremely embarrassed like them probably reporting to like Goma about them having water like the about like the enemy having made it to like the Demon world and they have spotted it. And basically right then out of the fucking Goma to totally straight away get angry most likely towards like Digger. So maybe because like Goma would be well aware that Digger so might have been it's like sensitive even before like the Gendarmerie the people has reported it and Digesu might have consciously kept it a secret from Goma. That way Goma getting angry at Digesu and basically still like Goma totally then forgiving Digesu and basically like this whole confusion where like Goma as well will be like totally thinking that basically totally assuming and thinking that the description about not the description like the precise people that like the Gendarmerie persons are talking about enemies that has fought being which like the Gendarmerie persons would be like assuming uh, are like the V fighters would be that confusion would be like passing on to like really Goma as well like Goma as well thinking that basically those the Gendarmerie persons that basically that those like enemies that the Gendarmerie was fought off against might actually be like the V fighters and that way like Goma making like strategical plans to like send even more army of like Goma along with like the Gendarmerie was to that exact direction where like the precise like Majin and Majin had head off to after like defeating like the Gendarmerie was and that way like such a total confusion a total confusion like happening like such a manner just like around like a scenario that I was taking care of so like I definitely my taking care of person right now as well like how exactly gonna be precisely finding out about like the sea fighters making it to like the subsequent world like I'm considering things precisely right now I'm considering things precisely through like their empty spaceship like basically of like the sea fighters precisely crashing onto like the very middle of like Thomas Palace, like right in front of and considering by Zoma only sitting in this like throne, like the king of like the strange king of like the ring realm. Like straight away I'm considering like giant the spaceship of the sea fighters like but it being empty, like precisely crashing onto the very right in front of him, like the scenario that I'm considering. Joseph Bell right in front of like Roma. Like the scenario that I'm considering. So it's okay, so like the Canadian Legendary and Bristol right now, the like Roma giving the order to like a full on attack and considering the because of that, like I'm considering that current number of Gendarmerie and then the Gendarmerie police uh, planes like as well, and like usually chasing after like the three fighters, like I'm considering won't be nothing at all. I'm considering like as like the fighters would be like either like trying to run away or like would be like trying to like one by one like slowly try to like bring down like the non-Muslim planes and trying to attack back. Like at that point itself, only getting like another huge set of a great number of like Gendarmerie as well as like Gendarmerie great number of like Gendarmerie and Gendarmerie planes like approaching from another side like also like a possibility that because like reflect the dome of also like the entirety of like the Gendarmerie is present in like the entire that Goma would have gathered as well from like the maybe from the third as well as like the second maybe from like the second demon world like before like the tabling the Kurasama as well. All of that those Gendarmerie and the Gendarmerie friends will be currently present in like the first demon world. Definitely not taking the like all of them like would be like collectively would be such a great huge number. Definitely not of this is a great huge number of like Gendarmerie. So like with all of them like through Goma's like current like or like actually like a full on attack like all of them like surrounding like the fighters reflect from all directions, like kind of like a scenario that I'm looking. So like somehow I'm looking like the fighters were being forced to like have no other choice but to like split up and move different ways, and that would be how like the fighters would be like finally would be succeeding in like getting away and escaping temporarily at least for like the current time being will be able to like escape from like the great huge like army of like second armory. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. So that's like the scenario that I'm considering. And precisely it would be precisely when the fighters will be like splitting about separating like totally in like coincidentally totally in like glorious favor and looking for in like it's like currently it's only like Ibis and Glorious alone that have like the two Dragon Balls of like Goku and through like and the different precisely Goku and through is splitting up and precisely working like Ibis coincidentally like happening to like basically get split up precisely and get teamed up with precisely Glorious like the scenario that ends different. So that they like the two Dragon Balls being in like glorious vicinity with like Isaac being like the only person that Gloria even having to like outsmart to even get those two Dragon Balls to steal all those two Dragon Balls. So it's like the scenario that I'm looking. So like one so the fighters and everyone will be like splitting up and going in different directions like I'm looking that basically Ibis and Gloria will be hiding in one place while go along with Goku maybe it will be like not Shin this time it will be like maybe Vegeta that will be getting split up together and they will be in some other direction and maybe Piccolo and Neva might be just getting like paired and split up into like another direction and going into escape. So like that way and those different ones like Glorio and so my preparation said to be accepting Glorio, the pair of Glorio and Titus that would be getting like and would be getting like when everyone would be getting split up, it would be like Glorio and Titus. So like in that group, I'm considering like it would be like Gloria easily like I'm considering it would be like by the time like it's night time and like while Titus will be sleeping, I'm considering Gloria easily like aren't so totally either showing up to that particular place and Gloria only phoning aren't so to just show up and aren't so be showing up to that location while Titus will be sleeping and Gloria most likely taking the Dragon Ball basically taking that Dragon Ball was that was which like Titus was in and without Titus finding out and basically Glorio along with his Dragon Ball as well like they straight away like leaving with Arjun. It's like one possibility that I'm also going off like it will be like Glorio in like the middle of the night while Titus will be sleeping like Glorio will be taking the certainly taking the Dragon Ball within Titus' position and basically Glorio flying off and leaving Hypers in the fall by himself, while Glorio is sitting off with like the two, by stealing like the two Dragon Balls and meeting up with like Arthur at some point, but like Arthur will be having some Dragon Balls as well. It's like the scenario that I was different. So then like it will be Glorio from that, and from that point on, like it will be like the journey of like Glorio and Arthur together, with like then having like also get Dragon Balls and then getting to some safe distance and basically in like a different spot like them basically like using all three Tamagami Dragon Balls and basically like summoning like the uh like my social friendship that like at that point once like Naruto and Gloria will be finally together and basically once at that point once and those like they will be having all three Dragon Balls with them like so like at that point I was bringing Gloria totally telling maybe Gloria might have only believe like and never trick and I'm also totally telling that would definitely never trick to like make his own wish using the Tamagami Dragon Balls and was totally bring like there would be absolutely no need for like the Namek language to be able to like summon the dragons definitely not the future impression. So like I was figuring, even though like Arantu and Gloria would be together, I was figuring Gloria would have only fallen for that fix of like never. So like Gloria would only telling Arantu that like we need to somehow find Neva and get Neva because like and force Neva to like really call out like the dynamic language and that like the only way to like summon the dragon. So like at that point I was trying Arantu on the other case would be like a lot more wiser and would be like knowing like how extremely tricky Neva is that basically Arantu would be totally having a feeling that that might have been like that thing that Neva said about like dynamic language required to like some of the dragon might have been like totally picked by Neva. So like I'm bring Arantu still telling Gloria to like just assemble like all three dragon balls and keep it together. So at that point like I'm without even like the dynamic language like the dragon of like the Tamil triangle, like appearing with like the scenario that I'm just remembering. So I'm just remembering like at that point with the dragon showing up, like I'm just remembering that definitely the human world would be like precisely he just like the dragon out in like the like the scenario that I'm just remembering. So and at that point I'm just remembering like Joe going through totally most likely having a feeling that Revolution and Goku and Vegeta maybe like they would be having a feeling that we really maybe Glorio might have tricked them and it's like summoning the time or like the scenario that I was bring is like even before that like Hybris might actually Lopen Ro might actually run into Hybris and so like through Hybris they will be finding out how Gloria has totally betrayed them. So like at that point that like and it might be after that like they will be like hopefully finding out like the dragon like usually appearing at the faraway distance. So like at that point precisely by the time Goku and like the sea fighters will be like the friendly like heading together to like stop Glorio like at that very last right before the numbers protecting the Glorio and are succeeding in like making their wish and get them getting tender straight away and then numbers protecting like with like them having no use for like the Tamagami triangles anymore. Like I'm also bring at that point still with, like them getting then they are also bring right then by the time like the fighters will be making it to like the location where the dragons would be appearing like I'm also bring like Gloria and Arthur would have made the bit important then they and like they would have like already escaped. It's like the scenario and once again going to hide it's like the scenario that I'm considering. And by then like the dragon as well would be like the direct like the scenario that I'm describing. And even then, along with like Gloria and Arunsu, there would be also a margin two as well as margin two as well, going along with them while they would be hiding. It's like the scenarios that, which is like the kind of like approximate scenario that I'm totally starting right now. It has for like the current situation, for like where exactly like the current situation of like the fighters in like the Muslim world being chased after like the Gendarmerie would be like really leading to. It's definitely my opinion.